Hey everybody, Tim and Shaggy here for another Star Wars review. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. There's fucking 3 episodes and I already forgot what episode we're on. Anyway, drinking. Cheers. Cheers. Because you have to drink to get through these movies.
I certainly was.
Yeah. So, episode 2 came out 2002. We have a lot of the cast from last time because I talked about how many actors were in episode 1. What annoys me is there's at least, a 10-year gap between episode 1 and 2? Has to be at least 10 years.
Because, Anakin's from, 5 years old to, almost 20 years old.
Yeah, so he is now played by Hayden Christensen, so I have nothing against him as a person.
No, I loved him in Jumper.
And see, I've seen Jumper, and I've seen Life as a House, which is a really good, it's a drama. I don't think you'd like it.
I'll take your word.
But I loved it. I thought it was great. And I don't know, he never shines to me. He's not bad, but he never,
I don't know who else you
out.
would suggest to play the character he played in Jumper.
Yeah,
I felt like that was a pretty good fucking role for him.
Maybe. Which also had Samuel L. Jackson in it.
Well, I know, because it had blonde Samuel L. Jackson in it. Who the fuck doesn't know about that?
And also in this movie, Christopher Lee makes his appearance as Count Dooku.
Oh, fucking Dooku. I forget about that.
And I love Christopher Lee going all the way back to the 70s with, Dracula and shit.
Bro, he made a metal Christmas album.
Really?
You didn't know about this? This was before he died.
No. Really?
He has a whole album dedicated to metal. Metal. It's Christmas music, but it's all metal.
Oh,
it's
I'll have to look that up.
amazing.
He's in Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
I'm assuming you've seen those movies.
Well, yeah, obviously. I fucking know what those are.
He's a terrific actor. He was also a Tim Burton actor. He was in Willy Wonka, and he was in.
He was Willy Wonka. He was Johnny Depp's dad in the new one.
Yep.
Holy fuck! I forgot about that.
Yep.
God, he was so creepy as a dentist.
Yep. He's in a lot of stuff. He's a great he was. It was very sad. He passed away. He was a terrific actor. So we get all that. We see the I think this is the first episode that has Bail Organa. I don't think he was in episode 1.
I don't remember who the fuck that is.
He will become Princess Leia's dad. So that's because her name was Leia Organa, which they never said. That's one of those you just have to know. Which I remember as a kid, people just knew stuff, and I was like, "How do you know that?" And they're just I just know. People knew Palpatine was Sidious, and they're like, "Everybody knows that." I don't fucking know that, but whatever. So we meet Senator Bail Organa in this. There's a great scene on Kamino, which I just made that up. I don't know if that's the name of the planet. After Obi-Wan and Jango have their little battle, when Jango is walking into his ship, he hits his head, which is a reference to episode 4, when one of the stormtroopers hits his head. So they actually did that. So overall, this, I believe, is often considered the worst of the Star Wars movies, is Attack of the Clones. That's neither here nor there.
I watched my favorite Jedi die in this movie. So, I hear you.
I don't remember who dies.
Plo Koon gets killed in the...
Oh, does Plo Koon die in this? No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. When they start killing all the Jedi.
That's the next movie.
Is it? Okay, well then fucking fine. I'm sad for the next movie.
Okay.
God damn it.
I'm sad we don't edit these, but whatever. That's how we do things. Because, I don't think anybody dies in this movie.
I swear to God they start killing the Jedi.
No, that's the third one. That's Execute Order 66. I promise you're thinking of the third one.
Fuck that movie.
So, anyway,
maybe that's why I don't like the third one.
This whole movie, see, that's the thing.
I just rewatched all of these.
And that's the thing. This movie, nothing happens.
Bro,
it's
they all
not
melted together.
It's not worth remembering.
No.
Because it's all about them finding out that there's these clones and that they're being used to help the Jedi Order. And that some Jedi, made this come up. And, this whole movie is just nothing but plot development. And it's so long and it's so boring. And all we get is fucking Yoda, begin these Clone Wars has. And it's I don't know.
The war proceeds.
Yeah, and then, at the end of this movie is when the Clone Wars starts. But then we just jump to Revenge of the Sith, which the Clone Wars are actually over. And I'm like, I want to see that. Like, I want to see that middle.
And that's why Disney did the fucking show.
Well, actually, Cartoon Network did it first.
Whatever.
But
Disney picked it the fuck up, obviously.
And then that's the good part. Like, that's why the TV show's great. I'm super excited to do that one. But this whole movie, like, I feel like, I mean, we learn all about, like, little baby Boba Fett and Jango Fett. But that's about it. Like, I feel like nothing
you
really
see the weird
happens.
alien race that's actually doing all the fucking cloning. They should, like, that. There was more questions for me than answers in this movie. Because I was like, what the fuck is up with this alien race? Why do they have this technology? And why aren't they more involved with this fucking war?
We do see the Death Star. Or the plans for the Death Star.
Yeah. And then the next movie is when we see it in redevelopment, right?
Yep. So, I don't know. This whole movie just felt like a big push to, like, get to the point, but it missed it for me. Like, I don't know. I struggled with this whole movie. The only thing that made this whole movie, so kind of like we talked about in episode 1, probably the best scene in the whole movie is when we get the, I think it's Attack of the Fates, I don't remember, is when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon fight Darth Maul. Like, that's the most badass scene ever, right?
Yeah, true.
For this one, it's after Obi-Wan and Anakin get their asses kicked, and fucking Yoda walks in, and you're like, what's Yoda gonna do? And we actually see Yoda grab his lightsaber. And when he goes to town on Dooku, you're like, oh
and
my
he's
God.
like flipping around Dooku, and you're like, yo, what is he doing?
Because, so in every movie before this, Yoda's always been a puppet. This was the first CGI
where
Yoda.
he's actually like moving around too. Dude, I
And
remember this. My jaw dropped in the movie theater.
Yeah. Like, he went to town. And I was like, oh. So, overall, yeah, this movie was rough for me.
Now I taste the gin. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
A lot of the scenes I struggled with, like when Amidala and Anakin and Obi-Wan are like being chased by the animals. And he's like, we came to save you, Master. Well, it didn't work. And it's just like, ugh, yeah, I don't know. This whole movie was really rough for me. So, I don't know. Do you have any highlights, something you did like about it? Because I got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, even I rewatched it, and I'm like, why did I like this movie so much?
Yeah, no, so I got nothing. So, I don't know, we'll keep this one short and sweet, but I struggled with it. I got
Dude,
no
you didn't
redeeming.
rewatch it, bro. Like, fuck. I was sitting there getting stoned the whole time, and I'm like, why the fuck am I watching this?
Yeah, it's rough. It's really rough.
I'm like, I remember this for the most part, but like, the dialogue is where I like started getting lost again. I was like, these people talk too much.
Well, it's all very, very political.
Yeah.
Like, this whole trilogy is very, very political.
Well, there's two sides of it all, like the government colliding.
And see, that's the thing, is you watch episodes 4, 5, and 6, and you're like, the Empire is bad, and the rebels are good. And so when you're watching this, you're instantly voting for the good guys. You're voting.
I'm starting to wonder if the Jedi are the scum of the earth.
Well, you start watching these movies and you start voting for the people that you think you like, which are like the Jedis and stuff like that. And then this is about the turning point where you're like, wait a minute, the Jedi
have been doing some really sketchy shit.
Are actually part of the Empire, but they don't realize it until it's too late.
Yeah.
So they're being used, but they don't know it.
Yeah, it's like when
so
Hydra
it's not their
infiltrated
fault.
the Avengers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly like that.
And that's the thing about Palpatine, is he's controlling the Sith, so he's over the android army, and he's over the Jedi.
He's just like watching. He's playing The Sims right now.
Yeah,
honestly,
and
that's what he's doing. He's like, I'm gonna watch a bunch of people fuck each other up and just see who comes out on top.
Yeah, basically. And so I don't know. It's really long. It's really slow. But so that's all I got for this one. You got any closing thing?
I mean, man.
At least we're almost done with the prequels.
Yeah, dude,
it's rough. So thank you guys for putting up.
These movies.
No, they're bad. Thank you guys for putting up with the prequels, and I will see you guys next time for Jendy Tedeschi's Clone Wars cartoon.